So entity means a reality that has a definite individual existence. If I make the payment immediately, then it is called as cash transaction. An account is a record of all business transaction relating to a particular person or item. The amount or cash or any other asset which is invested by the owner, that amount or cash or asset is called as what? Capital. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidyashram PU College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysore. My dear students, today we are in the third session of chapter 1, that is under part A, Accountancy, Introduction to Accounting. So we have discussed few of the concepts in a previous session. Let us quickly recall what we have discussed in a previous session. So in a previous session, we have covered this topic, that is bookkeeping, accounting as well as accountancy. So all these three topics are different topics. So what we have discussed here. So in bookkeeping, so it is just maintaining a books of accounts in order to record the business transaction. Where accounting is what? So accounting starts where bookkeeping ends. So in bookkeeping, we will record the transaction, we will classify the transaction. Whereas in accounting, after that, so after classifying, the next of the activities will be continued in accounting. That is summarizing, analyzing and interpreting and communication of information to the users. So that will be done in accounting. Then what is accountancy? So accountancy contains all the theory and practice of accounting is called as accountancy. So this we have already discussed in a previous session. Next is interested users of information. Of course, so whatever the financial statement what we have prepared, so it has to be communicated to the users. So we had already discussed there are two types of users, internal users and external users. So that is interested users of information. Next is branches of accounting. So there are various branches of accounting. So accounting is not just confined to recording of business transaction. It is much more than that. So here the accounting has been classified into financial accounting, cost accounting, tax accounting, management accounting as well as social responsibility accounting. So all these terms we have discussed in a previous session. Next, last topic was qualitative characteristics of accounting information. Of course, I have told you, so whatever the financial statement we have prepared, it has to be communicated to the users. So what are the qualitative characteristics of that accounting information? So how the accounting information should be, so that we have discussed in the last part, that is qualitative characteristics of accounting information. In today's session, we shall continue with new topic. I have already told you we are going to discuss about basic terms which are used in accounting. Let us see what are the main terms. So you are going to learn this accounting for the first time. So we have to know few of the terms which are used in accounting. So the first term is entity. Now, what do you mean by an entity? So, entity means a reality that has a definite individual existence. So, it may be any organization or it may be any other person, but that should have an individual existence. That is known as what? Entity. For example, if I give just X Limited, so we don't know whether X Limited is there or not. Just I have given an example here, X Limited. So, it is a imaginary organization. So this cannot be called as an entity. It should have some individual existence. Then it is called as what? Entity. So business entity means specifically identifiable business enterprise. So it should be identified. So it should have some individual existence where it can be identified, like Kalyan Jewellers. Of course, if I tell about Kalyan Jewellers, of course you know about Kalyan Jewellers, right? It's there. It has its own individual existence. In the same way, ITC Limited, etc. So these are the best examples for entity. In the same way, you can give the example of Mahalakshmi Sweets. So of course, that shop is there. It has some individual existence, right? So that is known as what? Entity. An accounting system is always devised for a specific business entity, also called as accounting entity. Hope you are clear with entity. So what you have to remember, entity means what? It should have some individual definite existence. Then only it is called as an entity. Next term is business transaction. Now what do you mean by transaction? The activities that takes place in an organization is called as what? Transaction. So a business transaction is an economic activity. Now what do you mean by an economic activity? So I have told you there are number of activity which takes place in an organization. But here we are going to consider only those activity which can be measured in terms of money. So a business transaction is an economic entity of business that changes its financial position. Now for example, purchase of furniture worth rupees 1 lakh. Of course, it will affect the business, right? So when you purchase, so what goes out of the business? Cash goes out of the business. So it also affects the business and asset come into the organization. That is, furniture comes into the organization. So there is some effect, right? That is known as what? Economic activity. So here a business transaction is an economic activity of the business that changes its financial position. Whenever a business transaction takes place, it results in a change in the values of some of the assets, liability and capital. Of course, I have given an example. Purchase of furniture worth rupees 1 lakh. Of course, it is the economic activity where cash of 1 lakh goes out of the business, where furniture comes into the business, right? So it directly affects the profitability of the organization. So it is called as what? Business transactions. And here transactions can be classified into cash transactions or credit transactions. Now what do you mean by cash transaction? So I have told you there are number of transactions which takes place. So these transactions can be either cash transactions or credit transaction. Now what is this cash transaction? So suppose I have purchased this furniture. Let us take this example itself. I have purchased this furniture of rupees 1 lakh and I have paid that cash of rupees 1 lakh immediately. So I have paid this cash immediately. Then it is called as what? Cash transaction. If I make the payment immediately, then it is called as cash transaction. Suppose I have purchased this furniture but I have not paid the cash immediately. I have taken 2 weeks of time. Have taken 2 weeks of time to make that payment, then it is called as what? Credit transaction. So what do you mean by cash transaction? So cash transactions are those transactions where the cash is paid or received immediately is called as cash transaction, whereas credit transaction are those transactions where cash is not paid or not received immediately. Then it is called as what? Credit transactions. Hope you are clear with this. So the business will go with both cash as well as credit transaction in terms of purchase as well as sales. The main or feature of transactions are, let us see what are the features of transaction. It involves economic activity. I have already told you. So for example, purchase of goods worth rupees 10,000, sale of goods worth rupees 20,000, purchase of land worth rupees 5 lakh, sale of furniture worth rupees 10,000. So it is all economic activity. So in business transaction, we will take only the economic activity of the business. Social activities are not considered as transaction. For example, the owner of the business have gifted a car to his friend. Now, this transaction is what? It is a social activity. It is not confined to the business. Of course, the owner of the business have presented, but it does not, or the transaction is not belonging to the business. So, it is not considered as business transaction. So, it is a social activity. So, such type of transactions are not recorded in the books of accounts. So, here while recording the business transaction, you have to go through that whether that transaction belong to that particular business or not. At the same time, the transaction should be measured in terms of money. So, it may be cash transactions or credit transactions. So, this is about business transaction. Now, moving on to the next one, an account. Of course, after recording in journal, we will classify that entries into individual account, which is called as what? Ledger. Now let us see what is this account. An account is a record of all business transaction relating to a particular person or item. For example, in journal, you will record all the transactions. So it may be relating to purchase, it may be relating to sales, or it may be relating to cash. So all type of transactions will be recorded in one particular book, which is called as what? Journal. Now, after recording in journal, so this transaction, depending upon the type of transaction, here, for example, all the transactions relating to purchase will be recorded in one particular book, or we will prepare one particular account, which is called as purchase account. In the same way, all the transactions relating to sales, we will record one particular book, that is sales book. Or if we prepare a particular account, that is sales account. In the same way, all the transactions relating to cash. So, if we prepare a particular book, that is cash book, in that cash book will contain only the cash transaction. Or we can prepare cash account where it contains only the cash transactions. So, that is known as what? So, whole segregation or classification of this transaction depending upon their nature or type is called as what? Ledger accounts. So it is called as ledger accounts. Now, ledger accounts we call it as. So let us see what is this account. So an account is a record of all business transaction relating to a particular person or item. For example, Ram. So here Ram's transaction are also included, for which we have to prepare a separate account which is called as Ram's account. Clear? So that is known as what? Account, where depending upon the type or person, we will segregate the transaction from journal is called as what? It is account. In accounting, we keep a separate record of each individual asset, liability, expense or income. For example, if we take a expense wage, so in journal, we'll record all the transaction of wages also. And while segregating, we'll take only the transaction of wages and we'll prepare wages account. Clear? That is, in accounting, we will keep a separate record for each individual. It may be asset, it may be liability or expense or income. The place where such a record is maintained is termed as what? Account. So this place where we have kept one particular type of transaction is called as what? Account. All accounts are divided into two sides. So how do we prepare account? So this account will be in the shape of T. Okay, so it will be in the shape of T, where left hand side is denoted by DR, which means what? Debit side. In the same way, right hand side is denoted by CR, which means credit side. For example, I will take all the transactions of cash and I will prepare what? Cash account. So we have to write the heading cash account, and account is denoted as A bar C. So account will be denoted as A bar C. So this is the short form of account. So how do we record this in the form of ledger account? So if we are maintaining only the cash transaction, I'll prepare cash account, I'll write the heading cash account, I'll draw the format where the format will be in the shape of T, where left hand side will be denoted by DR, which means debit side, whereas right hand side is denoted by CR, which means credit side. So this whole segregation of a particular type of transaction is called as what? It is account. So all accounts are divided into two sides. The account, that is debit side as well as credit side. So here two side means what? Debit side, which is denoted by DR, and credit side, which is denoted by CR. The account resembles English capital letter T. I have already told you it resembles the letter of T. As such, it is often called as T-shape account. So it is oftenly called as what? T-shape account. An account is abbreviated as A bar C. So account is written in the short form as A bar C. So this is about account. Hope you are clear with this. So here only a certain type of transaction will be gathered together and account which is prepared, so that is known as what? Account. Now let us see about the next term, that is capital. Of course, for each and every organization, in order to undertake their business activity, they require huge amount of money. Now what do you mean by capital? The amount or cash or any other asset which is invested by the owner, that amount or cash or asset is called as what? Capital. So the investment which is made by the owner is called as what? Capital. So it refers to the amount invested by the proprietor. So invested by the proprietor or owner in a business enterprise. So amount may be in the form of cash, goods or asset. So in order to undertake the business activity, of course, they require huge amount of cash. So that will be introduced by whom? By the proprietor or owner. So the amount of cash, goods or asset which is invested in the business is called as what? Capital. And it should be invested by whom? Proprietor of the business or owner of the business. So there is a formula for capital. Capital is equal to asset minus liability. So this is a formula for capital. Capital is equal to assets minus liability. Next, moving on to the next term, drawing. Suppose I have told you, if the amount is invested by the owner, it is called as what? Capital. So drawing means if any cash or goods which is withdrawn by the proprietor for his personal use. So here you have to remember the word personal use. So any cash or value of goods withdrawn by the owner for personal use or for private use made out of business funds are called as drawing. So suppose this is the business and he is a proprietor. So if he has invested money into the business, so this is called as what? Capital. Suppose the proprietor have withdrawn, suppose he has withdrawn certain amount of money from the business for his personal use, then it is called as what? Drawings. So amount invested is called as capital, amount withdrawn by the proprietor for personal use. So here you have to remember it should be withdrawn for his personal use only. For example, for the payment of his son's college fees. Then it is called as what? Drawings, because he is using for his personal use. Suppose if the amount is withdrawn by the proprietor for office use, that is for the business itself, then it is not termed as drawings. So it should be withdrawn. So it may be in the form of cash or it may be in the form of goods, but it has to be withdrawn by the proprietor for his personal use is called as drawings. Next is assets. Let us see what is this assets is all about. So anything which is in the possession or is the property of the business enterprise, including amounts due to it from others, is called as an asset. Now what do you mean by an asset? So anything which has certain value in the business. For example, building of a business. So building is what? It is an asset because it has certain value. For example, worth rupees 1 lakh. So the building value is not 1 lakh. So it is 10 lakh. So if the value of building is 10 lakh, then so what is it? So it is an asset because it has certain value in the organization. Then it is called as what? It is asset. So anything which is possession or is a property. So it is a property of the business enterprise, but it should have certain value is called as what? Asset. So in other words, anything which is enable to the business enterprise to get cash or benefit in the future is termed as asset. So on the other hand, I have told you anything which has certain value in the business is called as an asset. At the same time, anything where the benefit will be get in the future, that is also called as an asset. So thus, cash and bank balance, stock, furniture, machinery, land and building, bills receivable, money owing by debtors, etc. are all assets. So these are all the best examples for assets. So which are the examples? Cash and bank balance, furniture, debtors, land, bills receivable. So here bills receivable means what? They are going to get that amount in the future. So it is also termed as an asset. In the same way, debtors. Now, who is an debtors? Debtor is a person who owes money to the business. So this normally happens in case of credit transaction. For example, the business have sold goods to some other person, for example, X. Now, the business have sold goods to X, but X have not paid the amount immediately. He is going to pay in the future. Now, X is what? Is the debtors. Now, why it is an asset? Because in the future, we are going to get that amount from X. Right? So, it is what? It is asset because we are going to get that amount. So, there is certain value which we are getting from X. So, it is an asset. So, this is about asset. Now, let us see there are various types of assets here. Assets may be classified into following categories. Non-current assets. What do you mean by non-current assets? Or we call it as fixed asset also. Fixed assets. Now, what is this non-current assets? So, non-current assets refers to those assets which are held for continued use in the business for the purpose of producing goods or services and not meant for sale. So, more than that, we can give a easy definition here. So, non-current assets are those assets which is held for longer period of time. For example, land. So, when a business is going to undertake and they have purchased a land. Now, do you think they will purchase the land year after year or for every month they will purchase the land? No, they have once they have purchased the land. If they want to expand in the future, then after many years they will purchase the land once again. So, here land is what? Land is a fixed asset. So, it is a non-current asset which are not recurring in nature. We are not going to purchase that land often and often. So, once we have purchased and its use will be there for a longer period of time. So, that is known as what? Non-current asset or fixed assets. Hope you are clear with this. So, here what you have to remember. So, these are those assets where their benefit will be there for a longer period of time. So, examples for fixed asset or non-current assets are long-term investment. So, whatever the investment which you are made for a longer period of time. So, here this is for a longer period of time. The investment is made, so that is known as what? Non-current asset. At the same time, fixed assets such as land and building, plant and machinery, computer, motor vehicles, furniture, etc. So, these are the best examples for non-current assets. Now, coming to the next one. So, here also non-current assets have been divided into further parts, that is tangible assets. Now, what do I mean by tangible asset? So, these are the assets which can be seen and touched. So, tangible assets are those assets which can be seen and touched. In other words, which have a physical existence. So, these are the assets. Assets means what? Which has certain value. So, these are the assets which have physical existence like land and building. So, we can see land and building. We can touch land and building, right? In the same way, plant and machinery, computer, motor vehicles, furniture, stock, cash, etc. So, these are called as what? Tangible assets. And the second type is intangible assets. Now, what do you mean by intangible assets? So, tangible asset, we can see and touch that asset. So, they are called as tangible asset. Then, what is intangible asset? So, these are the assets which do not have the physical existence. So, they do not have the physical existence and thus cannot be seen or touched. So, we can just feel that asset. So, that is known as what? Intangible assets. So, example of assets are goodwill, patents, copyrights, trademarks, computer software, prepaid expenses. So, these are the best example for intangible assets. Now, what do you mean by goodwill? So, goodwill means name, fame or reputation of the business. So, using that also, the business can earn more profit. So, that is known as what? Intangible assets. So, here this intangible assets also have certain value, but we cannot touch or see that asset. So, they are known as what? Intangible asset. So, intangible assets are also valuable asset like tangible assets. So here, if we sell this asset, we get the value. But here, we cannot see as well as we cannot touch that asset, but still they have the value. For example, if an organization is very reputed in the market, so because of its reputation, so the business can earn more profit than any other organization. So that is known as what? Goodwill. So due to this goodwill, the business can earn more profit, right? So here, it is also called as what? Intangible asset. Now the second type is current assets. So we have learnt about non-current assets as well as fixed assets. Now let us see what is this current assets. So non-current asset is there for a longer period of time, whereas current asset is for what? Shorter period of time. So current assets are those assets which are meant for sale, whereas these non-current assets are not meant for sale, whereas current asset is meant for sales, which the management would want to convert into cash within 1 year. So here, current asset means what? So they are meant for sale where they can immediately converted into cash within 1 year. So they are known as what? Current assets. As such, these assets also termed as short-lived or active assets. So this current asset is also called as what? Short-lived or active assets. So for example, debtors. Let us assume X is a debtor here. So the organization have sold goods on credit basis. So here the X have not paid the amount immediately. He is going to pay in the future. So he is termed as what? He is termed as what? He is termed as debtor, because we are going to get the amount from X in the future are expressed to be converted into cash with a reasonable short period. So we are going to get amount from X in the near future. So he is called as what? He is called as current asset. Stock is continuously sold and bills receivable are also converted into cash. Now what you have to remember under current asset? So these are there for a shorter period of time where they can be easily converted into cash within 1 year, are termed as current assets. And the next type is fictitious or nominal asset. So these are the assets which cannot be realized into cash. Like current asset, we cannot convert into cash or no further benefit. So in the future also, we cannot get the benefit like fixed asset or non-current asset. Then what is this fictitious asset? Such asset include debit balance of profit and loss account. So fictitious asset means what? Debit balance of profit and loss account and the expenditure not at written off, such as advertisement expenses, etc. Like current asset, they are not going to convert in the near future. At the same time, like fixed asset, they are not getting the future benefit. So they will not, or these types of asset will not have the future benefit. So fictitious asset include debit balance of profit and loss account and the expenditure not at written off, such as advertisement expenses, etc. So these are the best examples for fictitious asset. So what you have to remember, it is not current asset. At the same time, it is not non-current assets where the benefit will be got in the future, nor it can be converted into cash immediately. So such type of assets are called as fictitious or nominal assets. So these assets are not really assets, but are shown in the asset side only for the purpose of transferring them into profit and loss account gradually over a period of time. So these assets are not actually assets, but in order to transfer them to profit and loss account, we will just record in asset side of the balance sheet. So this is about fictitious or nominal assets. Next is liability. So the next important term is liability. Now what do you mean by liability? So in a business organization, how assets are common, in the same way liabilities are also common in an organization. Of course, the business will not have sufficient amount of money in order to undertake their business activity. During that situation, so there arises a need where they have to borrow from the outsiders. So the amount payable to the outsiders is called as what? Liability. So whatever the amount they have borrowed, so that has to be paid back. So that amount which is payable, so that is known as what? Liability. So it refers to the amount which the firm owes to the outsiders, expecting the amount owed to the proprietor. So here, normally the business will borrow amount from the outsiders. So this amount has to be returned back to the organizations from where it has been borrowed. So this amount that has to be paid to the outsiders is called as what? Liability. In the words of Finney and Miller, liabilities are debts. So nothing but we call it as debts. That is the amount which has to be paid to the outsiders. They are amount owed to the creditors. So the amount that has to be paid to the creditors is called as what? This liability. So this can be expressed as liability is equal to assets minus capital. So this is a formula for liability. That is assets minus capital. Now who is a creditor? So we shall learn later about creditor. Now time being, you remember liability is nothing but the amount that has to be paid to the outsiders, or we call it as it is a debt. That is the amount that has to be paid to the outsider is termed as liability. Here also, liability is further classified into non-current liability. Like assets also, here we have non-current liability. So what do you mean by non-current liability? That is a long-term liability. So that is known as non-current liability. So this refers to those liability which fall due for payment in a relatively longer period. So if the amount that has to be paid to the outsider is more than one period, then it is called as what? Long-term liability or non-current liability. For example, long-term loan. For example, they have borrowed a loan for 2 years. So it is more than 1 year, right? So the amount can be paid after 1 year also. So that is known as what? Long-term liability. That is the payment which has to be made is more than 1 year, then it is termed as non-current liability. So example, long-term loans as well as debentures. So these are the best examples for non-current liabilities. And the second type is current liability. Now let us see what is this current liability. Current liability is reverse of this non-current liability. So it is relatively longer period time, that is more than 1 year, whereas current liability, the amount payable which is less than 1 year is called as current liability. So current liability refers to those liability which are to be paid in near future, normally within 1 year is called as current liability. For example, bank overdraft, bills payable, creditors, outstanding expenses and short-term loans are called as what? It is current liabilities. Next term is sales. Now let us see what is the sales. Sales are total revenue. So from goods or services sold or provided to customers. So whatever the goods or services which is provided to the customers, from that what the revenue will get, so that whole activity is called as what? Sales. By selling this goods and services to the customers and getting the revenue, that is called as what? Sales. So sales may be cash sales or credit sales. So we have already discussed about it, cash transaction and credit transaction. Same way, if the goods are sold and the amount is received immediately, that is cash sales, whereas credit sales, the goods are sold but the amount is not received immediately, it will be received in the future. Then it is called as what? Credit sales. Hope you have understood about this term, that is sales. Next is revenue. So what is revenue? During the process of selling the goods and services, so whatever the amount we will get, so that is known as what? Revenue. So these are the amount of the business earned by selling its products or providing services to customers, called as sales revenue. So by selling the goods or services which is provided to the customers, what the amount the organization will get, so that is known as what? Sales revenue. Other items of revenue common to many business are commission. So commission is also a revenue, interest received, dividend received, royalty received, rent received, etc. Revenue is also called as what? Income. So revenue is also called as income. Next, expenses. Now, what do you mean by expenses? Cost incurred by the business in the process of earning revenue. So, during the process of earning revenue, if any expenses is incurred or if any cost is incurred, so that is known as what? Expense. So, cost incurred by a business in the process of earning revenue are known as what? expense. So generally expense are measured by the cost of asset consumed or services used during the accounting period. That is, in the process of earning revenue, what are the costs? So it may be transportation cost or it may be any other cost which is incurred while or during the process of revenue is called as what? It is expense. The usual items of expense are depreciation, rent, wages, salary, interest, cost of heater, lighting, water, telephone, etc. So these are the charges. So during the process of earning revenue, so during the process of earning profit, of course we have to pay the wages to the workers, salary to the employees. So these are all termed as what? Expenses. Now let us see expenditure. So expense is different, expenditure is different. Let us see what is this expenditure. Spending money or incurring a liability for some benefit, service or property received is called as what? Expenditure. So during the process of receiving a property, so whereas expense is what? During the process of earning revenue, if any cost is incurred, so it is termed as expense. Then what is expenditure? Spending money or incurring liability for some benefit. So in order to gain some benefit, so whatever the cost, so it may be the service or property received is called as what? Expenditure. That is the amount which is spent during the process of receiving a property or incurring a liability for some benefit. So that is known as what? Expenditure. For example, purchase of goods, purchase of machinery, purchase of furniture, etc. are examples for expenditure. So here overall we are going to consider the huge amount. So remember, expenditure will also always be in huge amount, whereas expense will be in smaller amount. So here purchase of goods, purchase of machinery, like purchase of fixed assets. So it requires huge amount of money. So that is known as what? Expenditure. That is, here property, we are going to receive that property. So that whole term is called as what? Expenditure. If the benefit of the expenditure is exhausted within a year, it is treated as what? Expense. I have already told you, if the amount is very huge, then it is expenditure, and the duration is more than 1 year, it is expenditure. Suppose the amount is small and the benefit is exhausted within a year, it is termed as expense. So it is also called as what? Expense is also called as revenue expenditure. So there are two types of expenditure. One is revenue expenditure, and the other one is capital expenditure. So revenue expenditure where the benefit will be exhausted within 1 year, whereas capital expenditure where the benefit will be exhausted more than 1 year. So that is known as capital expenditure. So here expense is termed as revenue expenditure. On the other hand, the benefit of the expenditure lasts for more than a year. It is treated as asset, also called as capital expenditure, such as purchase of machinery, furniture, etc. So here the machinery can be used for more than 1 year, right? So then it is termed as what? Expenditure. So this is about expenditure. Hope you are clear with the meaning of expense as well as expenditure. So these two terms are totally different. So in my next session also, we shall continue with few more basic terms in accounting. So these are the basic terms what we are going to learn in your first chapter. So we had already learned few of the basic terms in today's session. In my next session also, I am going to continue with few more basic terms to be learnt in accounting. My dear students, hope you all understood the session. See you all in my next session. Till then, take care. Thank you.